Thought you meant the laugh just cracked a pepper in my throat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? From First Week Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. And today we're joined by Jacob Elordi. He's an actor you know from his role as Nate Jacobs in the Emmy Award-winning mega-hit HBO series Euphoria. His latest project, though, is the film Deep Water, an Adrian Lyne directed psychological thriller set to hit Hulu on March 18th. Jacob Elordi, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
So, you know, we've had a lot of sauces from Australia in the lineup before, many of them mega hots. How deeply growing up did you explore what seems to be a robust hot sauce subculture down under?
You know what? I had absolutely nothing to do with the hot sauce subculture, strangely enough. I have an uncle who's like a fairly large man, and he's sort of rough as guts. He's from the mines, and he loves, well, he's not rough as guts, he's a good bloke, but he loves hot sauce. So whenever we were in like a small town somewhere, there'd be like a little old lady that made some extreme hot sauce, and we'd always have to get it for him and bring it back. So that would be the closest I came to it. Oh, it's on the wing.
It's already there.
You don't even have to apply it.
Mm-mm.
Heat with hot. Yeah, you can really tell.
So your latest project, Deep Water, marks the return of Adrian Lyne, the creative force behind films like Indecent Proposal, Flashdance, Jacob's Ladder, just to name a few. What is it about Deep Water that makes you nostalgic for films of the past? You had an interesting quote where you said that you hope that it's the rebirth of these kinds of films again.
Yeah, I feel like there was an era, especially in the 80s, when we sort of had come out of the 60s and 70s of cinema with this sort of Easy Rider, you know, those kind of films. And then we went sort of back into this studio genre, which was like, you know, psychological, psychosexual thriller through the 80s and 90s. And I feel like it felt like growing up to me, like there was one of those coming out every week. And even though they weren't like the greatest films, they had something like iconic about them, like almost something noir-y about them, sort of like that era of cinema. And I feel like we've gone so far down another end now with everything being fantastic and large and green screened. I was like excited to get back into like just sort of something psychological that's still entertaining, you know? Okay. I'm feeling a little bold.
Oh, confident.
Yeah, and
Off
I feel
that
like
first
that's
wing?
That's not the way to go. Yeah, okay. It's a little like, it's definitely like, yeah. No. I've had a few people give me. I was talking to Halsey last night, and she was like, you know, take tiny bites. Like, don't put your fingers on your face. And the first thing I've done is just go, and then like, go to touch my head.
Be careful around the eyes. That's where I'll be on you, you know.
Yeah,
be careful around the eyes. So when we had David Chang on the show, he had lots of nice things to say about Australia, but he did bury the burgers, calling them an abomination because Australians put beets on them. And I think that it's only fair that we offer you our platform to respond. Do you have a defense for the Australian burger?
Absolutely. I think Australians make the best burgers in the world. Because they put everything on them. Like a burger in Australia isn't just it's happening now. The burger in Australia is like eggs and bacon and avocado and then a patty and then like 6 cheeses and then a mayonnaise, and I think that's incredible. I think the more the merrier on a burger. That's an absurd statement. I don't like beets though.
Beets, sometimes pineapple with the Australian burger.
See, that's not. For me, that's absolutely no chance. Am I doing that? I feel like fruit and meat. My mom used to make this mango chicken salad, and it would piss me off so much every time. And it tasted good, but it fucking made me so mad. I was like, there's this delicious chicken and delicious mango, and you fucked them by putting them together. I hated that. I like this little branding here. Little Marcus Aurelius looking guy. I'm still got the last one still. Something's still saying something.
Well, watch
Did you
out.
like this?
There's a little bit of a cumulative effect, you know, as you go. You know, the chemistry of all of them.
Okay. The chemistry of all of them. I like that.
So as I understand it, Euphoria Season 2 is shot entirely on Kodak Ektachrome film, which is almost impossible to find. And I know that you're romantic when it comes to cinema. What would you say a show like Euphoria stands to gain from shooting on 35mm?
I think because every other aspect of it has so much thought in it and so much care, to then shoot on film is like another degree, another level of effort that you have to put in. And you actually can't get the film. They made that film for the show. So just in terms of history, there's something quite incredible about being a part of something. Because, you have guys like Nolan and Tarantino always saving film, always talking about, shooting their pictures on film to save film. But then to have film kind of come in and help you, to invent something, or to reinvent something rather, that's very special to me anyway, personally, to be a part of something like that, And you just see it being loaded every time you're shooting. Every single frame of this could never have existed before we shot this. It's so, I don't know, there's something about that.
Precious or sacred.
Yeah, and vainly, I get to be on a frame, multiple frames of that film. That's pretty unique experience,
And then another thing that's unique about the cinematography on the show is the use of color to represent a character's emotional state.
Yeah. I think a lot of people use colors in the way that, especially how they were used in the first season, to be like, oh, I want to make a movie like Drive, or, oh, I want a movie that looks like this or a movie that looks like that. Whereas what you just said rings true, I think. Sam doesn't use the color because someone's used it before and it's kind of sexy. He'll use it to tell a story through the character. Or Marcel was speaking this season about having filters that over the lens that made it a memory, that made it a dream. What is it like to relive childhood in memory shots? And everything's used practically to evoke a feeling. And I think that's the thing I like the most about Sam.
And then can you draw back the curtain on that single shot carnival scene from Euphoria episode 4? The scope of it is so ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, there was stitch points. There were little stitch points throughout the thing, but we spent a couple of nights shooting that, and I remember they were editing it as we shot it. They'd take the card out and then run it to a building, and they'd edit it to make sure that the stitch points. So Sam worked that out in real time. He was like, where can we stitch it? It wasn't composed until they composed it on the, sort of on the spot. And it was such a cool shot to watch. I love watching that shot. The Phoenix, Angry Goat Pepper.
Some of them have a little bit of a delayed reaction. I know that we're teaching you everything about hot sauce today, but some of them...
Why do they do that?
You take a bite, you feel good about it, and then about 30 seconds later, it connects.
Fucking hands, man.
So I've heard you talk about studying the groundbreaking work of actors of yore, from Brando to James Dean to Montgomery Clift. Is there an actor that you'd say influenced some of your more unique character development tactics? I was interested to read that you'd keep a journal from the perspective of your character.
I think James Dean said something like, how can I lose? I've got Marlon Brando in one hand and Montgomery Clift in the other. And I think that actually kind of applied to a lot of what I was doing that I wanted to do with Nate, was to have the sensitivity of Montgomery Clift, to have these eyes like a wounded deer, but then to have the brute force of Brando coming in and ripping Stella's clothes off, you know what I mean? So I think, funny enough, your question is the answer. That's probably what I drew from all of those kinds of people. How can you have a great softness and a sadness in your eyes, but still be yo, what the fuck's good? You know what I mean? This weird contrast is what I try to dance between, I think, with it.
And then off the top of your head, and without thinking about it too much, your favorite Brando movie of all time and why?
On the Waterfront. Just for the one-way ticket to Palookaville when he's in the car with his brother. That line is fucking crazy, Could have been somebody. I could have been something, You was my brother. Like that kind of thing. I like that. That's a different movie. That's Godfather too, but same
The
sentiment.
point stands.
Yeah.
Point stands.
Something about it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Guess I'm a spice guy, huh?
You're a spiceman.
Spice, is that what you call yourselves?
Yes.
We
It's a
spicemen.
very exclusive club. Yeah, we meet.
I'll take it. What an honor.
Spiceman, I have many leather-bound books.
Oh, big one, big one.
Yeah. As we get more confident.
This is the time you should be getting less confident. Is that a thing? The closer you are to the peak, you get more confident, but it's the most perilous part of the journey. So
Well,
you should
I
be
like
careful?
that outlook. I've never heard it delivered quite so eloquently. I like that. I like that as an outlook through the whole thing. But no, to answer your question, typically up front, big bites, cleaning wings. As we work our way down the line, you start to see smaller and smaller light
that ain't
from
me.
this side of the table.
That's not me, small to big.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's how we're doing it. All right, Jacob, we have a recurring segment on our show called Explain That Gram, where we do a deep dive on our guest's Instagram, pull interesting pictures that need more context. So we'll pull the picture up over here on the monitor. You just tell us the bigger story. So know that you're an avid photographer on set, not just when you're stealing other people's phones for selfie pranks.
I love that.
What began your interest in photography, and why is it important for you to bring a camera on set?
I think Heath Ledger definitely started it because I'd seen a documentary of his, and it was sort of all told through his photos and Super 8 footage that he had. And when I left home, the journey seemed so big and so unrealistic that I knew I would like forget it. So my mom bought me my Canon camera to just like make sure I was snapping every single beat, to keep it all, I guess. Yeah, it's just the first magazine I ever did. It's called V-Man, and that thing was reflective of me. So there's another picture on there, and it's the film version of what the photographer was shooting while I was hanging out.
What do you do with all your photos? Do you archive them
I
in
just
any way?
hoard them, yeah. I've got them all. I've got most of them printed, and I just go back on them and, get teary every now and then.
This is quite the celebrity row here at MSG. You got Simu
crazy.
Liu on one side, and then you got Liev Schreiber on the other side. Do you remember what you're pointing at here?
And it was probably me trying to act like I knew, like,
Sure,
oh, did you
like-
see that sport? Did you see that?
Undercover as a basketball
Did you see
fan.
that just happen right there? That three was crazy. You know, like I have no idea what's going on. Oh, number 3 blocked him good, huh? Got him so good. So I was trying to be one of the guys, because and also there's so many cameras watching you when you're on the front row. So it's like it's an enjoyable experience, but the whole time, this little voice in my head is like, don't look like an idiot. Like, look like anyone scores, I'm like, it's like me and Spike Lee, like, he's gonna see this now, thinking I'm a phony. Fuck, man. I've seen great men fall at this point too, so.
Not the champion. Jacob the champion.
It made me tear up. I love you, Dad. I love you so much, man.
So when we had Jeffrey Dean Morgan on the show, he had some interesting thoughts on an actor's psychological approach to playing a villain, saying that a villain doesn't know that they're a villain. How would you describe your relationship with playing a detestable character like Nate Jacobs, if you'd even call him detestable?
Yeah, I mean, I've been over this so many times, and I've been dragged across the coals for it. And I've had a conversation with my mom. I was like, I will not stop defending him, because that's my baby. I've made him, and there's no way. I don't think anyone could give a performance if I was sitting there being like, man, this guy is like a detestable piece of shit. Because then I wouldn't want to play him. I wouldn't want to say the words. I think for me as a performer, it's my job to open my heart up and my mind up a little bit and empathize. And I think we could all sort of benefit from doing this in life a little bit too, even if someone's objectively shitty. Just sitting back and realizing that they come from somewhere and they come from a set of circumstances that are probably different to yours. And whilst it doesn't make it right, I think it's beneficial to even just consider it for a second, And as an actor, it's imperative, I think, personally. Just so nervous, man. It's like survive. Freakishly hot. All right.
diving in.
I already know this one's gonna be
Yeah.
a fucking nightmare.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. That one's no joke.
Well, you know, if there's someone to blame, this is from Australia. I think it's from your hometown, actually.
And blame me? Like I invented the 13 Angry Scorpions?
Yeah.
Like before I was an actor, I was just sitting at home perfecting my chili recipe.
In the hot sauce, in the hot tub.
Yeah, my uncle, like, it's good. I don't know why we're Southern all of a sudden. It's good, buddy. Really good. It's hot.
Can you talk through the moral dilemma that you have as an actor in the streaming era? You once asked yourself in a Vanity Fair profile, am I the face of this robotic, terrifying new age?
That was a little dramatic. Which I can say now that I'm in deep pain. No, I think it's Sorry.
Don't apologize. This is the show.
I think when there's that much content in the world and we can just sit on our couches and order food and order groceries and order clothes and essentially not move and just watch an endless stream, I don't think it's good for cinema, I don't think it's good for storytelling, but I don't think it's good for people either. It seems like a very sad way to live. That's a great fear to me, and because I started in somewhere that could maybe cater to that, it was like very frightening to me as a young man, and then it was also like, you know, you're very convicted when you're like 18, 19, you're like, hell no, man, not me, man. Absolutely not me, man. And
Especially a young, ambitious actor watching Brando and watching James Dean.
Yeah, and then I thought that my gods would be looking down at me, just like spitting on me, weeping at like, you know, they're like, how dare he utter our name. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fuck.
And like the last one, immediate.
Straight to the back of the throat.
Yeah.
Straight to the back of the throat. Just like that.
This, I think, will be a transformative experience for you. This wing right here. This sauce.
Straight to the back of the throat.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to.
Buy you dinner first.
Just don't even. The laugh just cracked the pepper in my throat. Fuck.
So I've heard you talk about forgetting your lines at the Euphoria audition and then blowing a self-tape because you were copying Zac Efron's performance in Charlie St. Cloud for a show that required an American accent.
You do dig. You do dig. They say one thing about you. You're a digger.
I'm a spiceman who digs. I'm a spiceman who digs.
I'm gonna have to go here.
When you think about auditioning rock bottom moments, what immediately comes to mind for you?
Rock bottom moment. Probably. I went to this one time. I feel like I just got way cooler when I speak. Yeah, I went to this one place. You know, because I'm trying to speak less. And it was for some show, and I was like usually learn my lines, but then sort of try to play a little bit. And in the middle of the scene, this casting director was like, oh, can you she stopped me and was like, can you just do it exactly as the words are? And I was like, oh, I don't know, then I'll be like reading off the paper. And she's like, do that, read off the paper. And I started, and I just felt so dejected that I just left. I was like in the middle of the thing, I was like, I'm not who you're looking for, because I had a lot of pride, I guess, maybe. That story makes no sense because my mouth is so up.
No, you know what? They tried to confine you to the page.
Try to put me in a box,
You know, they wouldn't let you color outside the lines.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let
I'm a
your
peacock.
creative spirit fly.
You gotta let me fly.
You gotta let Jacob
gotta let me
fly.
fly, yeah.
You gotta let Jacob fly. And speaking of spreading your wings,
Yeah.
Are
Actually,
you ready
feels quite good.
to move on to the next sauce?
Hell yeah.
This is the pucker butt. Extra mean green.
Okay. Come on, man.
Right. So, growing up in Australia, I understand that you're a pretty good rugby player before a back injury sidelined your playing days and pushed you towards a career in acting. What's the key to a good drop kick? That seems like a difficult athletic skill to perfect.
Yep. Lemonade, dear. Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's kind of like there's this cathartic release through your muscles
Oh.
as you enter Shavasana. I can't drop kick. I wasn't the kicker.
What's the best stadium food to eat during a match at Lang Park?
It would probably be some form of a sausage on bread. That's my go-to. I have a very simple palate. I don't like to be, although I said before, I love burgers with everything on them. I have a fairly simple palate. Oh, I'm quite relaxed.
That's what you gotta do. The cathartic release.
Okay. One to go. So I should eat this whole one. Absolutely do it.
There we go.
Well, that's bad. Okay. Okay. All right, what?
We're doing it.
See you at the bottom.
See you at the bottom.
What a terrible idea.
But it was yours.
Uh-huh. So I'll stand by
But it was
it.
yours, yeah.
I'll stand by it. Believe. You said I'm a champion.
Closing out another episode of Hot Ones. And what we're gonna do here is prey on your hot sauce fueled vulnerability for a quick association game, okay?
Okay.
I'll point to a sauce and you just tell me the first Australian slang word or phrase that comes to mind, okay? 13 Angry Scorpions.
Bloody hell. Go again. Next one.
How about To Bomb Beyond Insanity?
Oh, this is an impossible game. Crikey.
And last but not least, The Last Dab Apollo, the one that we just ate through.
It's like, you bloody ripper.
Jacob Elordi taking on the Hot Ones gauntlet, had not explored the hot sauce subculture of Australia, got a crash course today and aced that test, and now there's nothing left to do but roll out the red carpet for you. This camera, this camera, this camera, let the people know what you have going on in your life.
I'm super stoked. Really, really glad to be here. Yep. Yep. Got this. Check it out.
Look at you. Oh,
Yep.
that's an actor. That's an actor right there.
I just want to be in it, you know what I mean?
He's immersing himself in the experience.
Shouldn't have, I tell you.
That's commitment to craft.
Okay, yeah, it's here. Right to this camera here.
Crikey.
Hey, what's going on, Hot Ones fans? This is Sean Evans checking in with a very exciting announcement. We've read the comments, we've seen the emails, and after 6 years, more than 250 episodes, we can now bring you the full Hot Ones experience in one convenient package. I'm proud to introduce you to Hot Ones boneless chicken bites, available exclusively at Walmart and walmart.com. Each bag of Hot Ones boneless chicken bites is packed with approximately 35 breaded, seasoned white meat chicken bites, as well as individual packets of the classic, Los Calientes and the Last Dab Apollo for all your saucing and dabbing needs. The full Hot Ones experience ready to heat and eat whenever you get the craving to spice things up at home. Hot Ones boneless chicken bites. It's a party in a bag and everyone's invited.